Hey, what's up, AJ? I hopefully you can hear us.
Well, he's still muted. I don't know. I mean, presumably he's still adjusting the technology on his end.
Yeah, it's probably on the phone or whatever.
Check.
Oh,
Check.
hey.
Hello!
Wow. It's been a while. Both of
How
you.
you doing?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, I'm doing fine now. I had a fever for the last week, and I gave it to Luna, and
Oh,
now so
Oh
oh
no.
he's
no.
he's in bed back there, but he's with us in spirit.
Well, I'm
Oh.
glad you're feeling better. I'm sorry she's not feeling well.
Yeah, my fever basically just broke yesterday, and then I got an email from like a my very first ever press release, like just as I was kind of starting to recover, and it was from Alex Pretty's neighbor, Chris Gray, and they are calling for a general strike. I'm just letting everybody know if they want to Google uh, Chris Gray, Gray, Alex Pretty. There's a lot of information on the internet about it. I'm trying to rush together a video and all that kind of stuff. Also, another little news item before I turn around and give Silver Spook a very happy birthday. But another thing is, our comrade at Overthrow Media BP just put out a really good video that I was interviewed for. But I was hardly the most, like, there were much better like scholars being interviewed for that. So I'm not the reason you should watch it, but it's really good. It's on the cult of American nationalism. So both those things happened like right as I was recovering from my fever. So BP sent me the link, and I was like still in bed sweating, and I was like, okay, and I passed out, and then yeah. So now I feel like I owe it to do a little extra boosting on both those. But anyway, happy birthday, Silver Spoon.
Hey, thanks so much, EJ. Thanks. Thanks for making the time. Even though I know there's all this. Many people are having medical situations. So thanks for coming through. Even despite all the troubles. And I hope Luna's recovers smoothly. And
Mm-hmm.
I really I hope everything works out. And do everybody check out BP and the other links and such that EJ sent. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just did an info dump, so sorry about that. But yeah, yes. So what did I kind of broke in? I think y'all were in the middle of a conversation. Didn't mean to interrupt the flow.
Oh, no
I
worries.
don't know. I think we were talking about silly people eating poison.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Yeah. Yeah.
that might have been what happened to me. I don't know.
Did you have neurotoxin, pufferfish, in organs?
I did not. I don't. I'm not one of those people that's interested in like adventurous eating when it in terms of like I do love adventurous eating in terms of trying things that might be unique or unusual, but not like danger. I don't like food where danger is involved. I don't get that thrill. So that never made much sense to me. But I guess no judgment. But I guess I
No,
was heavily
I guess
influenced
I'm
by
kind of a
that
judgy person.
Simpsons that Simpsons episode. I was like 5 years old when the Simpsons first came out in like '89, and there was that Simpsons episode of the pufferfish, and that probably freaked me out early enough that I never had the fascination with eating a pufferfish.
Yeah.
I associate it as something Homer Simpson would do, so it's not really
Does seem like something Homer Simpson would do.
glamorous to me.
Yeah. I have never myself, so that you're in good company. Even though maybe I am part Japanese, so this maybe the ancestors are like Silver Spook. You're gonna be disowned unless you eat the. You have to prove yourself, and you have to show your bushido-ness by eating the puffer fish. And I'm sorry, ancestors. I'm sorry.
That's right. I think that's what I don't find appealing about the pufferfish thing, because you're right. It's like there's some food that's like poverty food. Like it's in the South, we have a lot of food that's considered poverty food, like collard greens and stuff like that. And that kind of stuff I love. But I do feel like the pufferfish is more like a ruling class thing, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
to show your like honor or whatever in this really like feudal way. And maybe that's what doesn't appeal to me about it, is like the class character of the pufferfish or something.
Yeah, it's a thing where we're just talking about how, like, because my dad actually, like, he worked in a fish store, and that's what we were just talking about. And I was
Oh yeah,
that he
that's
like
where we were.
yeah, and he was like because he was his grandma actually my grandpa was like he was actually Emperor's Royal Guard at one point. He didn't serve under the best one,
Whoa.
you know. So we got and my other great grandpa was a freaking cowboy, a colonizer. So you know, so I have some everybody got a little problems in the
Back the wrong.
yeah, you know, in the history of the 500 years, everybody has a little bit of weird background. But anyway, my dad did know all about like filleting like how to properly like all the names of fish I know like ahi and aku and mahi, like it's all like Japanese fishing knowledge. Or also Hawaiians, we also had a lot of that knowledge. And he was actually my dad. It's funny because my dad's actually half Japanese, and then his father was like actually was like German, Irish, Scottish, former cowboy. He actually slept with a gun under his pillow, and then he came to Hawaii, and my dad actually but he was actually fostered, or he was like raised in Hawaii. We call it hanai. It's a Hawaiian word that's like basically you're raised by another family that's not biologically related to you. Anyway, so he was actually raised by a Hawaiian family for a good period of time. So it's actually, I'm not actually sure if it's a lot of it's like Hawaiian and also like Japanese like fishing, like how to fish, like how to spear. Like he used to take me spear fishing all over the place, and like catching like uhu, which is that's the coral eating parrotfish. That's like the best tasting fish, and
Are you good at fishing yourself?
I haven't fished too much like recently. We do sometimes go fish. Not a whole lot nowadays, but yeah, we do go fishing sometimes. Unfortunately, one of our kids is allergic to a lot of shellfish. Opihi, which is a Hawaiian word for like, it's basically like a limpet that grows on the rocks. We eat a lot, and yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna just rattle off on the fishing tales for the next 2 hours. Long story short, we didn't actually go after pufferfish though. It's just like it's a thing that's kind of like they're there, right? And there's like it's kind of a daredevil thing, but it's kind of people like playing fast and loose with their life.
Yeah, they wash up on the shore here in Da
Adrenaline
Nang
rush.
all the time, so I know they have them, but I don't think that Vietnamese. I don't think it's like much of a thing in Vietnam. I might be wrong about that, but I've never seen it. I've never seen anybody eating it or anything like that. But maybe I don't go to the fancy enough places or something. Luna's really good at fishing. I stink at it. Every time we go fishing, she catches all the fish, and then with patriarchy, everybody always asks me, "Oh," they're like, "Oh, you caught a lot of fish," and then I always have to say, "No, she caught them. I can't fish. I don't know how to do it." Luna says I smell bad to the fish.
I think I've been fishing once in my life.
Catch
I
anything?
don't think I don't
We'd ask.
like a little thing that I had to throw back.
Yeah, it requires.
I know
patience
I've
that
been
don't
once.
have.
I don't think I went a second time. But yeah, no.
You can cross it off. I mean, tried it.
Not for me. Not for
Wasn't your
me.
thing.
Yeah. What if I had the time and the constitution for it, what I'd actually like to do is hunt. Like
Ooh,
sustainable hunting around here would be really good. Like there's so many deer and rabbits, and I love deer and rabbit meat. I'm like I'd much rather sustainably hunt than buy meat at the supermarket,
My uncle took me hunting a few times when I was a kid, and between my uncle and my grandpa taking me like fishing and hunting, I realized I love to sit around in nature, but then like the fishing and hunting part just becomes like a hassle that it's like I think I just like to be lazy in nature. I don't like to be doing.
I mean, I think that's probably ideal, right? Like you don't need to worry about that. Like maybe foraging. Foraging's fun.
I don't mind rowing. Foraging have I ever? I guess everybody's like, I've eaten like a berry. I've eaten some berries.
EJ,
only when I'm with people who know what they're doing.
I was gonna say, EJ,
when I was a Boy Scout, I did.
Have you tried a delightful a nightshade with some peach leaves? That's what we were talking about.
See, that's. I was a Boy Scout, and I did get the like. I don't remember what they called that merit badge. There was a silly name for it, of course, because it's like a weird culty cosplay group. Speaking of the American cult, they can't just call it foraging. They had to call it right. Yeah. they had to have some kind of more like manly name for it. They couldn't just call it foraging. It was like, outdoorsmanship or something.
Outdoorsmanship. That's what it is in Fallout, the RPG.
Right. And yeah, there's a lot of Boy Scout. I forgot there's a lot of Boy Scout like cultural touchstones in Fallout. But anyway,
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, they just like kept telling me everything was really dangerous and not to eat it unless you really knew for sure that it was good to eat, and so it just kind of made me never want to eat anything. I guess I had a lot of these like childhood experiences that made me terrified of food. Between
That
The Simpsons and
stinks.
the Boy Scouts, I eat a lot. Like it hasn't stopped me from eating. Just I need experts to guide me.
Yeah. I do like. I am really interested in sort of like herbal medicine, I guess, herbal
Oh,
remedies, but like
Luna's great at that stuff.
real stuff,
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by that because there is so much that we just is around us. And of course, here in Boston, everything is super lead poisoned, so like you got to get out of town before you can do anything.
I would imagine. Yeah.
But
I mean, you're probably like Luna. Like Luna, you can point to any plant in Vietnam, and she could tell you if you can eat it or not. And if you can't eat it, she'll tell you like what the medicinal properties are. Because
nice.
I'm curious if Hawaii is similar in the sense that in Vietnam and I think in China it's the same, and I know in South Korea it's the same. They kind of don't distinguish between food and medicine, so like they consider it kind of a continuity. And so anything you eat that they really are concerned with like the health properties of it, and if you're sick they're really concerned with what you're eating in a way that like I feel we probably had that in the past in like Western culture or whatever. I know that like there are indigenous folk medicines and stuff like in Europe and Ireland and such, but I think we've lost a lot of that in the USA. I don't think most people have that cultural knowledge anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the history of that split is, and like there's a lot tied up in religion, right, and in anti-witch
Right. I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to real quick. Thanks a lot for grabbing Neofeud, Milesenberg. Thanks a lot. Sorry. The sequel's coming soon. In fact, we have many of the voice actors in this chat right now. Yeah. So anyway, but I'll answer your question now. In Hawaii actually, there's a term. I think the term is like lau lapa'au, which is basically that deals with a lot of the medicine. But yeah, you're saying like food and medicine is basically interlinked, interwoven, and not necessarily separate things. That's definitely like that's a lot of the like my brother often says that it's like also he works at a Hawaiian indigenous ecology restoration project, and it's a common saying like food is medicine. That's definitely a common thing.
Yeah, they say that here too.
Yeah, and it's the and like like you mentioned, like Luna could tell you like what plant, any plant, like what it could be used medicinally, if you could eat it or not. It's definitely the case for in Hawaii. It's very similar, of course, for Native Americans or indigenous people of Turtle Island. It's the whether it's the boil on the face plant, like in Hawaii, obviously we have a lot of alien invasive species that we have to deal with, and so and so one of the things here is where we are at is that's one of our Silver Spook cooperative projects is like basically there was like a lawn. There is no lawn now. Everything is which is for maximum curb appeal pyramid Ponzi scheme real estate value. That's all gone. It's all yeah. There's no capitalism up inside of our front yard. Not in my backyard. Only good old indigenous collective food and medicine garden. I literally, but it's basically we have sweet potato, and we have one thing is actually I know sweet potato came actually from Turtle Island, or from it's developed in what's called Peru, and then it came all the way through the Pacific. Here it's like uala. I know in China and Vietnam, I'm not sure what the name is, but I think it's actually across the Pacific. It's known, it has a similar name. Like it's a kuala or uala or uaa something in Indonesia all the way through. Anyway, and so like that, it grows like really plentifully. It actually didn't grow. We don't like always grow that everywhere, but like in recent times, because of climate, shifts, right? So it's, one thing is we're trying to figure out what things will actually grow in the area we're in. Like, this is one example. Like, avocados were growing really well, and they still grow well in certain areas, but they need a lot of intensive water. Whereas the potatoes, and in particular sweet potatoes, like, they can grow. Like, there's a lot of strains of them, and we have like 3 separate strains that we're growing in the front, and they'll grow under dry conditions, like drought conditions, weather conditions, and they just spread and sprawl. So we have a lot of that just kind of growing, and it requires minimal maintenance for us, just because we're trying to like grow things that will grow without having to replant. We don't have to use any fertilizer or pesticide. We don't have to basically work on it as much as possible. I mean, just for our personal situation, there's other, like, the Hawaiian ahupua'a system is a whole other thing where it requires like 1,000th the work. It's very similar to the Chinese and also Vietnamese terracing and the way they do rice, gravity fed water for the rice paddies. Actually, the kalo patches, I was just like studying that recently, and it's very similar for the way the Hawaiian and Pacific Islander, including Maori and other indigenous Pacific Islanders, kalo or taro patches is very similar, kind of flooded terraced setup to like the ancient East Asian farming practices, which it requires so little. Once you set it up, it takes a lot of intensive collective work to set up. Once you set it up, for centuries or even millennia, it will just feed people with very little actual like labor required. It's been, anyway, long story short, yeah. So we where we were just talking about this earlier. It's actually volcanically active. There's the volcano is actually, it was just erupting yesterday, and the ecology is a little different, and the geology is different. So you can't really do the Ahupua'a terrace system because the lava flows are like a giant sponge. They soak all the water in, but you can do.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you have to. But in this area, the Hawaiians who have lived here for centuries or or longer, you have to adapt to like Pele is the volcano goddess here, but you have to like respect Madam Pele. It's like one saying. You have to malama the aina when you have to care for the land, but the land is the volcano goddesses. But it's also like in the mythology, it's like, do not go in this area. Like, obviously don't go near the volcano, particularly when it's erupting. But you also like, obviously people go there, and there are people, there's right now, I was just talking to people, mostly not Hawaiian people and not local people. They're like, oh, what if I go take a picture and oh my God, lava bombs.
Oh yeah.
Shit, like tourists, being,
Jeez.
So you please don't do that. Anyway, so long story short, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a thing we deal with.
Not feed the volcano.
Yeah, you want to be a human sacrifice. Yeah. So anyway, so it's really like
I've been up on Mauna Kea once.
Yeah, it's weird because there's snow on that one and there's the lava on the other one, and it's really got everything.
It's like Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like totally
like
Minecraft.
different biomes every.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, but anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've only been on a volcano island one time, and it was Jeju Island near Korea. It was really stunningly beautiful. Especially there's one huge, I guess, volcanic mountain that's dormant or dead or whatever. But it's like in the, see, I don't know anything about volcanoes because I've never lived near them. But the the pit, the volcano hole, there's this like beautiful, like, I don't know, like jungly green area you can like look down into. And it's just kind of pristine and untouched because it's like almost impossible to get down there, and you're not supposed to go down there. So it's just this like little nature preserve in like the mouth of a volcano. It's really very beautiful. But Jeju has every time we talk about this stuff, it's like it always comes back to like colonialism and stuff, because Jeju has like a really tragic history, because Jeju-do had a communist kind of uprising right after the war. The people of Jeju were siding with the North, and so there was a really vicious, and it's kind of like untold history about Korea, where they came down and cracked down on them really hard, and basically like colonized. The South. They were Koreans, but like the South like colonized that island and like decommunized it, and there were like all these massacres and stuff. But it's really a beautiful place. If anybody ever goes there, check out that part of the history. Is something you won't find out on the tours and such. But anyway, yeah. That's my only volcano story. Sorry, it was a downer.
Oh, No, it's all good. Yeah.
I I've been on a couple of dormant or mostly dormant volcanoes,
Really?
and they're beautiful, beautiful. I love volcanoes.
They are.
But I'm
They
very
have a
glad I don't live
different
near them.
they have a different energy than like because I grew up near a lot of mountains, obviously in
Hmm.
southeast. We're near the Blue Ridge Mountains and all that, and those are really beautiful. But they're like a totally different vibe than
Yeah,
a
yeah.
volcano. I don't know why. But the thing about the sponginess of it, like soaking up water, I'd never thought about that, but that actually makes sense, and I feel like that would make it difficult to farm. Because how could you control? Because farming has like, from what I understand from talking to Luna in Vietnam and in I think in South Carolina, like water, like controlling the flow of water is a huge
Mhm.
part of farming.
That
So
is,
if
yeah.
the ground just soaks up the
If you're
water,
gonna like do like farming, you have to know how the water is gonna flow, and that dictates what kind of food you can grow and where it
yeah,
can grow and the patterns. Like that's just historically true across the world. There's even some theories that um different patterns of water uh have mandated different types of governments forming.
yeah,
Like the fact that China's floodplains and rice
hmm
paddies require so much cooperation to get enough food out of,
hmm
mandated kind of like a bureaucratic system, whereas like if you have, sort of abundant rivers and lush forests like you had in North America for a long time, still do some places, like
hmm
you could have more loose sort of organizations. And like I don't
hmm
know how true that is. I don't think anybody knows how true that is, but like that's the kind of thing that like we can at least speculate about.
Well,
Like that
certainly
has a
there's some
lot to
kind of
do with how
there's some kind
people.
of relationship. I mean, it's like it's
Yeah.
such and again and I think I don't know how you never know how intentional these things are, but that's one of the things again we need to get back in touch with is I'm trying to learn from Luna things and it's not something that comes to me naturally or anything like that, but I'm trying to learn about plants and agriculture and food and the relationship between the people and the land that they have here in Vietnam and like 70% of Vietnamese people are farmers in some capacity, and so like they have and they don't have that the like the urban rural divide we have in the USA doesn't exist in Vietnam. It's like they're very interconnected. For one thing, it's because almost everyone in the city came from a village somewhere and has family back in the village and goes back to the village to help with the farm during harvest. There's a lot of different connections like that sort of that we've totally lost in the US especially. And with global climate change, the food security that we've all grown up with used to, it's not guaranteed at all. It's actually more likely that we're going to lose food security and we're going to have to start, you know, there's going to be a lot more competition over resources and a lot more. We're going to have to become more resilient and self-reliant. So there's a great paper. It's called Deep Adaptation. It came out like a decade ago, I guess now, which makes me feel old. But it talks about like how we all need to start being more in touch with our local biome and the people in our community and the farmers in our community and that sort of thing, because these national and international systems are going to start breaking down because of climate change. It's just like
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
just going to happen, and so we
Oh,
have
hey,
to.
Mexie.
Yeah. Hey,
Welcome.
speaking of international systems and climate change, we have a specialist here.
Oh,
We've
I
summoned
know.
her.
That's how I
Hello.
feel. I feel like I summoned you, Mexi.
Well done.
Really? That's exciting.
I'm talking about
Hello.
deep adaptation and climate change and agriculture.
Oh, cool.
I feel like you might
Yeah,
have
that's right
some
up my alley.
thoughts on that.
For sure. I'm just frazzled as hell. I don't know if Silver Spook told you how my day went, but
Ooh,
it's been a
fill us
lot.
in. Fill us in.
So yeah, my entire family got this stomach bug except for me.
Me
So,
too.
okay.
I have. Is it like
Yeah.
a stomach flu kind of thing? Did you have fever too?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. But like the kids, so yeah, both kids and my partner were just hugging the toilet all day. Or I mean, the kids weren't, like they were just throwing up everywhere, and I was
Yeah.
the only one who was totally fine, so I had to take care of everyone. And like yeah, it's 9:30 now. Like my second child just went to sleep because he also was feeling very sick, and yeah, it's just been a nightmare of a freaking day.
Oh
So I
man.
was so
Yeah.
excited.
Sounds so
I was
exhausting.
Yeah, I was supposed to like take this whole day to relax after we had the screening for Earth's Greatest Enemy in Toronto on Friday, which was
Wow.
fucking rad.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna take the day to, like caught up on work. I'm gonna go to the stream super early. I think it started like 2.5 hours ago, right?
Yeah, no worries.
I was like, I
Some
was like,
kind of it's like a
we're g-
bio op against Silver Spook's birthday stream, but they couldn't stop us.
Not today,
I had
CIA.
a stomach fever. Right, exactly. Luna's got it now, Mexie, by the way, but Luna
Oh
says hi.
no. Oh, hi,
Um,
Luna. Oh, I'm sorry. That's terrible.
yeah, she's sleeping right now. Might
Oh
be hugging the
gosh.
toilet, but I think she's sleeping.
Yeah. Ugh. Yes. Well, happy birthday, Silver Spook. We made it. They couldn't stop us.
It
Yeah,
could not.
thanks so much for taking the time. I know, yeah, unfortunately, I was like, it's either some kind of weather thing, or it could be, yeah, illnesses, but
Yeah.
even in this state, I'm honored that you would take the time, and I don't know, yeah, so yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, it's all good. I usually I go on this Sunday. I just kind of hang out on Sunday for a while, so it's no worries. And yeah, I was gonna say, I mentioned I was trying to play some of your I was trying to play some of the trailer for the Earth's Greatest Enemy, and I told everybody, that yeah, of course, Earth's Greatest Enemy is Abby Marchand and Mike Preisner. I know you know them in Empire Files, but I remember I was following them for a long time, so it's really cool that you were helping them to screen a very important show about the U.S. military #1 polluter contributor to climate change, and yeah, so I hope that all went off.
hmm
You said it went off really well, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And the film itself was incredible. And they do have a lot in there about Hawaii and Red Hill and yeah, I actually saw there was a screening. I guess you probably wouldn't be able to make it, but it's in Honolulu. Like coming up or in the future or whatever. But I don't know if there's any more that are going to be done in Hawaii. But yeah, I'd recommend seeing it for sure. But I think they're going to try to get it online. Like around like April, May, they're working on some legal stuff, so they are going to share it online eventually so that it can be seen more broadly. But yeah, it's really a great film and really, really
Documentaries can
powerful.
be a legal nightmare because of all the footage. You have to
Yeah.
get
You
permissions and
know
all.
if it's screening in the Boston area? Asking
Um,
for
I
a friend is totally me.
I'd have to check that. I can, yeah, you can bring it up on the website actually. I don't know if you can do that, Silver Spook, on the stream, but
Okay.
they have all the dates there. I don't know if they've already been to Boston, question mark, but yeah, but also like every film that has the US military in it, like in their script or whatever, um if they want to get shown anywhere, they have to get approval of the script from the Pentagon.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yeah, that's partly why this is not like this can't be up on Netflix. Like, they're gonna have to go. I wonder if they'll put it up on Means TV. Um,
Beans would help
but
them with that, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, I would think so. 'Cause yeah, they were like I guess producers and whatever were interested in it, and they were
Yeah.
like, okay, so you're gonna help us get it up then, and they were like, oh no no no, like we can't touch this. Yeah, they
it's
were like,
it's
no.
the land of the free.
Yep.
I
Okay,
mean,
it's not coming anywhere close to here. Closest is Jersey, but
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
had videos taken down, and there is it's an like indisputable law that anything that the U.S. government produces is public domain, right? I mean, that's like a very solidly established principle. And I've
Mhm.
taken U.S. Air Force footage of things like missile tests and strikes and that sort of thing, and like 3 or 4 times I've had them taken down from copyright strike from the U.S. Air Force,
Oh my
and I had to
God.
dispute them, and I did. In the end, I've never had a dispute that I didn't lose because I took some classes on like media copyright in college, so I kind of know what I'm doing and what to say and that sort of thing. But just the fact that they tried, I feel like
hmm
if I had some kind of lawyer or something, I would have been able to sue them. But I don't know anything about actually suing people.
Yeah.
Like, how can the U.S. Air Force do a copyright strike? Like, how could they even have the tenacity to try when it's
Yeah.
literally like, by definition, public domain? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
They
That is.
they really don't want anyone saying anything. It's a censorship. It's blatant censorship.
Oh yeah, it's a
As you know.
heavy-handed censorship.
Yeah.
Heavy-handed. And yeah, I mean, I guess the people that they were talking to were like, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to also include the good things that the military does. And like, some positive spin on the military. You can't just do a critical documentary
Yeah.
about the military.
Yeah. And by the way, any Hollywood film you ever see where there's like an American tank or plane or anything like that, they only
Mhm.
allow people to use that hardware if the military gets to literally make revisions and give final approval to the script. So that's
Yeah,
why it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
propaganda. And even TV shows like I've been binging Hell's Kitchen while I'm sick because it's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Nice.
And I plan on one day making like an epic video of some sort about how like Gordon Ramsay represents like the petty bourgeois morality of like the Western
Mm.
worldview. But anyway, it's also just, I have to admit, entertaining to watch. But like every single season, I guarantee you, it must be like some kind of contract writer or something. They'll have at least like 2 episodes where they glaze the military, and they'll have the like U.S. Marines come in, and Gordon Ramsay's like, "You're feeding the U.S. Marines. These are heroes,
Mm,
and it's raw," and it's just like they have like the patriotic music. It's embarrassing, and I'm just like, oh my
Oh
god,
my
I
God.
gotta 2x through this one. This is just too cringe.
oh my
So
gosh.
speaking of I don't know if guilty pleasure is quite the right word, but like problematic faves. I love Stargate SG-1.
Oh my god,
Love it
Luna and I have a
so
whole
much.
rant about that. Go ahead. I'd
So
like to hear
so my
you.
friend Sarah and I are
We've seen every
maybe doing a
episode.
podcast about it, maybe.
Oh my
Um,
gosh,
and oh my god, like the,
that's awesome.
both major parts of me, the academic archaeology side and the like lefty agitator side are like, uh,
Speaking of Air Force propaganda, no, there's a lot you could talk about with
there's
Stargate
so
though,
there's so
like
much.
politically.
Oh my gosh, there's so much, and
It's
it's
such
so
a
funny.
weird because it's presumably this like anti-colonial story, but like they glaze
But
the U.S.
it's
Air Force the entire time, and it's filmed in Canada, which is also funny because you have all these
yeah.
Canadian like Air Force guys.
U.S.
Yeah,
military. That's
so
what
it's
it's boot.
like it's U.S. military propaganda, as done through Canada with a huge helping of Ancient Aliens, which is
Right,
like
right,
the
right,
bane of
right.
the bane of my existence. Um, See also forthcoming rant next weekend on the Hit Points in History panel that I told you about.
Hmm.
Like,
Okay, I have to turn you on to some really deep nerd lore because I've always wanted to do something with this, and I probably never will, and I want someone to look into this.
all
But
right.
there was a show by J. Michael Straczynski, as we all know and love J. Michael, called Jeremiah. Do you know the show?
No.
Starring
um.
Luke Perry
Oh, I seen
and
that. Yeah, I know it.
freaking
Yeah,
Malcolm Jamal Warner, right?
I do know
Okay.
it. Yeah.
It was a like super. I love that show when it came out in like 2002, and if you watch it and you've watched a lot of Stargate, they use the same. It was filmed in Canada. They're both filmed in Canada, and they use the same like sets and a lot of the same props from Stargate. And so you're like, and so it's like my head canon is it's like the same world, like Jeremiah is like the apocalypse future of the
Of
Stargate world.
Stargate.
Jeremiah,
Yeah,
get back
they
into
go in the
Stargate.
same the bunkers and the big machine, like the big computer machines and stuff, like all of that stuff is in like Jeremiah. And I just want to know like
Amazing.
what's the real like behind the scenes connection? I mean, I don't know if that's like one big studio or the same production company or something.
I mean, I do know a lot of American shows get filmed in Canada because it's cheaper to do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the only time that things got reused for different shows and different genres.
I wonder if that's still the case.
Yeah,
Oh
probably
yeah,
not.
yeah, for sure.
Probably.
Yeah, people are always wondering where Holly's from, because Holly's from like Holly when Holly first saw like Spider-Man, I forget what, no, X-Men, when Magneto is like throwing cars, throwing giant trucks in the air in one of the early X-Men naughties. Holly's like, that's where I drive to work every day. Like they're always filming yeah, it's like in British Columbia. Yeah, so that it's as far as Holly, like when we were watching shows, I was like, oh yeah, that's the grocery store. They call it like, the science fiction, like this is where you buy your, blue-eyed three, finger, juice or whatever. But that's just the grocery store that I used to go to, and they gussied it up for whatever show they were making. Yeah, yeah. So it's definitely.
You want to hear a little
Yeah.
scoop
Yeah.
about South Carolina? Is that when I was in college, I was really involved with like independent film and the arts community and stuff down there. And my mentor was a consultant for the South Carolina Film Office or something, that like the film department of the government that was supposed to like promote filmmaking in South Carolina, and the Film Commission. That's what it was. And they at the time it came out with this really great like set of tax breaks and stuff that was like an incentive package, and it was really successful, and a bunch of films started coming to South Carolina, and the film industry started to grow, right? And it was and film for South Carolina was like a pretty good fit because it was just bringing a lot of money in, and it was bringing in a lot of jobs, right? And it was like a total win-win for South Carolina. Like there wasn't really any downside to it, and the governor just suddenly killed it, just killed the whole program, deleted the package and everything, right? And at the time, we didn't really understand why, but then like years later, I found out from my mentor that the governor was like this total. You should look up Mark Sanford's background and how he fell in the end, but he was like this total weirdo, like proto MAGA dude, who got caught going to like Brazil with a secret mistress with government funds. But anyway, the reason he killed the film commission in South Carolina is because he was like paranoid that union labor would come in through the film industry. And so he
Wow.
wanted to like stop, like nip it in the bud before people started trying to bring union jobs in and that sort of thing. Because the way it would work is when Hollywood makes a film in South Carolina, South Carolina is a right to work state, and unions are very weak in South Carolina. But they would bring in Teamsters and like all the
Oh.
Can't have anything that makes people better off. That'd just be
Right.
terrible.
Right. It was literally just making like all the Republicans nervous because like all these unionists were suddenly like flooding these little small towns in South Carolina, and so that's why they killed it, even though it was like objectively good for the economy.
Yeah. No films, no red communism in America.
The only red is Republican red.
Yeah.
Is the Canadian film industry like as heavily unionized as Hollywood's?
I actually have no idea.
I would wonder if that would be one of the reasons that they do a lot of TV shooting. Maybe is because it's like a way of getting around unions. They do it. Atlanta has become a huge. I mean, they do more advertising in Atlanta now than in New York City, and it's a large part is because it's a non-union state. It's a
yeah. They really only film things here in Boston if they want you to recognize that it's Boston.
Right.
Like
Boston
Knives Out. Knives Out, they want you to know that you're in the Boston suburbs. This is a very New England film.
They still film a lot of stuff in Toronto, so I'd actually be interested in looking into that.
I'd be curious about that too. I'd be curious about that too. That would be like a good investigation, I think, especially because things are changing so fast right now with the industry. I mean, they're trying really hard to tear the unions apart and displace the production and everything. So it's probably changed. Whatever it has been like, I bet it's changing there as much as it is everywhere else. I don't know
but
what
SAG after or whatever was pretty strong though, like the past few years, right?
It's a double-edged sort of thing. Like and I'm not really an expert on it at all because I don't know much about the acting side of the industry, but my actor friends tell me that they were kind of disappointed with the deal they worked out over AI and
oh really?
And stuff. I mean,
it
was like
there was a big.
You probably know more about it. Yeah, go ahead.
I have some voice actor friends,
okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, the big problem with the deal that got worked out was that they kind of gave permission for AI rights to people's performances. They just kind of gave that away. And that was one of the big things that the strike was like really trying to negotiate on. And so there was a huge internal struggle over the leadership of SAG-AFTRA. I actually don't have a good read on how it fell out, but I do know some people who are very active in the organization, and I suspect there will be more. Put it that way.
Oh,
I
that's too
suspect
bad.
that there will be more pushback on the AI stuff in the future.
Yeah,
It's definitely something that if you are involved in acting, you should fill yourself in on it, because especially if you're ever going to sign some kind of contract. Because one thing I do hear from my actor friends a lot is that they're always trying to sneak in, like if they get the rights to your likeness and your voice, and you don't sign the right paperwork, and I don't consult a lawyer or something, I don't know what it is, but if you're not really careful, they'll literally get the permission to like use your voice and your face forever as like an AI like copy you and stuff, and it's happened to a few people. They got burned. And
oh my god, that's so insane.
yeah.
Oh
I know, like
man.
there was a 700 actors signing. I believe it was the creatives against AI. I know, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, what's her name, the Black Widow, and it's a whole bunch of 700 actors. Like, and it's not I'm not sure what its connection to SAG-AFTRA is. It was basically like a whole bunch of actors and like a lot of big names in Hollywood, all basically signing this no AI. We just are against any AI voice, performance, likeness, use of any kind. And so that, because of course, like if you're an actor, yeah, you if it keeps moving in that direction, and there's like it's a global fight really, then yeah, you're gonna deep trouble. So yeah, so that's what I know, because I remember I was sharing that in one of the about a month ago, and they put out a new statement. Holly has a link to that. It's like this huge a large number of creatives, a lot of like predominantly actors that like are taking a direct stand against AI.
That's good to hear.
Yeah,
that's awesome. We need a lot more institutions on our side. Like that's something we really we rely over much on these like established liberal institutions. We need somewhere that are like class conscious and explicitly
that's one
on
of
our
the things
side.
that I've been really upset at academia for. And like I it's not like I didn't think this was coming, but like
oh yeah, AI in academia is a huge problem,
the
right?
professors might be largely on the more liberal end of the spectrum, but the people who actually run universities are not, because universities have been running like businesses more and more, and and like they were always institutions of hierarchy. That's how they're built. Is one thing that I had a big argument with some higher ups at my last university over. And it was kind of inevitable, I suppose, that they would try to shove AI into everything, but the extent to which it has gone is just, the students hate it. The students hate it as much as the professors.
How could you justify charging what they charge now for education, and then you got a freaking like chat bot?
You couldn't justify that in the first place.
Right, exactly. But now they're like doing it with like a it's just it's so dystopian. It's so dystopian.
That's so interesting. It's like so different, I guess, at every different university, because like ours, I mean, maybe it's just department by department as well, because like the departments that I'm in are just like falling over themselves trying to figure out how to like block it and like block students from using it and whatever, but it's like it's making education basically obsolete, because they can just, there's like entire programs that they can just take your syllabus and feed it into an AI, and it'll download all the readings and it'll summarize all the readings and give them like, oh, here's some sample essay questions and the answers to the essay. You know what I mean? Like it'll just give them everything. So it's like, what is even the point of any of this, right?
The truth is that education has been misapplied
Mhm.
for so long. Like, it's very Fordian, you know? Very like, you are doing this to prepare for the workforce, and it is here to make
Mhm.
you a better worker in the cog that
Mhm.
is the machinery of the country and the hierarchy. And that is a gross misapplication of educational principles on its face, right?
Mhm.
The real thing that education is meant to teach is not even the facts, but how to think,
Mhm.
how to critically think and analyze and judge reality for yourself.
Which
And then
AI
get
cannot
specialized skills. And
explicitly
that is
can't do.
just not in there for so many people.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
have this
like
video series that I have totally fallen off of, that I called the Ivory Tower, where I was like going through and trying to like tackle sort of what are the big major problems with education as it stands in the US, because I'm trying to narrow my scope a little tiny bit. Um, um, this all started out from like, I need to write a video about how grad school is abusive. Like, I need,
Hmm.
for myself, I
Mhm.
need to write this. And then everything has changed since I started writing the series. So, like, I was having like emotional trouble writing the video about institutionalized racism in US education, which desperately need
Mhm.
to do. But it's just so bad. And then you know, Trumperding 2.0 and the Department of Education is no longer a thing, and universities are drowning in AI, and people's syllabi are getting scrutinized by right wingers, and Plato is getting stricken off the record because classical education clearly doesn't mean Plato anymore. Um, just
I thought that was like the whole what's that guy? Because I like my understanding was that the far right was trying to like push more
oh
classic
yes,
Greek
the talking
into
point
the
for years has been like, you can't you can't change the canon of ancient works. What do you mean you're not going to teach the classics? And like,
yeah.
oh, where are my pearls? I need to clutch them. And then as soon as they start doing this, like, this was literally a thing that happened at A&M not that long ago. Is a professor's syllabi got Plato struck off it by
That's
the supervisors because it was too woke, I guess.
it's too Plato is too woke. Oh
Plato's too
my
woke.
Oh
god.
I
wow.
mean,
That's
to be, I don't know what part of Plato they were teaching, but like, I can definitely think of things in Plato that they would not agree with. Like, women are people and should be
yeah.
equals is one of those things.
I bet they let
Or
Aristotle stay
education is
though.
actually good. There's a
Something
whole
tells me
dialogue about
Aristotle
how
got a
education is actually good.
Mm.
You know.
oh my well, it's oh my god. My best friend who's a member of our media co-op, but mostly works behind the scenes. But he was a classics major in college, and he has all these. I keep telling him like, because you know how I don't know if y'all know about this, but there's this whole kind of like fascist pipeline around
Oh,
Greek philosophy and especially Stoicism,
oh,
and
especially
like,
Stoicism,
and
and
there's
not even Greek Stoicism. It's always Marcus Aurelius.
right, no, yes, okay. I'm so glad you know what I'm talking about because like I feel like
Oh,
sometimes I'm screaming to avoid about this stuff.
I've got me.
It's bad. You have a B? Are we under attack?
No, 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 no. I'm looking at my books.
Oh, okay.
There's this, there's this book. There's this book by Donna Zuckerberg. Yes, actually, that Zuckerberg. I'm told they don't get along, but she doesn't talk
My
about it.
goodness. Okay.
Um, Called hashtag Not All Dead White Men,
Okay.
and it is
I don't
amazing,
know
and it
where
is
we're
like
going.
on this
Okay. Okay.
topic.
We are really going down the rabbit hole right now. This is great. That's so
I
interesting.
actually I saw her give a speech on specifically like her work on internet racist stoics, and it
Really?
was just amazing. It was incredible, and there was a guy there,
Oh my god.
one of
A
them.
guy? What
There
a
was one
stoic
of them
reply
there.
guy?
And he was like trying to ask her like gotcha questions, but of course, like, it went nowhere. But then like, so this talk was half sponsored by my department at the time, and so like a bunch of us were there, and he like followed one of my classmates, like, on the bus home. And
Oh,
she was like,
God.
"Am I gonna die?"
Jeez, that's
Like,
terrifying.
it was legitimately scary. It was like, yeah, just because we are in this field and there are Nazi bros in this field with us.
Jeez.
You know,
I would hate to be a classicist right now. This would be a terrible.
you know, you're a classicist.
yeah,
Next thing you know, you're going down the street. You know, you're talking about Kaiser. You got Caesar's legions out there, Caesar's palace. You know, you start torturing the Fallout protagonist. You know, crucifying her. Anyway,
Is this a quote?
that's a teasing.
Sounds like something straight out of Neofeud.
That. Well, I mean, yeah, that's actually the Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone plays the Fallout TV show's voice of the Legion of America's Caesars in 2200, and he crucifies. He literally crucifies and tortures a young woman. He follows her around. So I will say that. So yeah, it's Macaulay Culkin. He's actually back. Anyway, that's a little TV show aside.
But he's a really like he grew up to be a legitimately good actor as well as a good kid actor.
His brother is the creepy guy on Secession.
Kieran Culkin. Yeah.
I miss the days though when stoicism meant like you kept your mouth shut.
Right.
Stoic, right?
Stoic. These stoics today, they can't keep their mouths shut.
He's not quiet and just kind of.
You don't even know what a stoa is. Go home.
Right. It's just, but anyway, yeah. If you do have knowledge of the classics, anybody listening to this, and you know that they're all full of shit, we need more voices, dispelling all the, revisionist classics.
If you want, I do have a couple of videos that are like directly about ancient Greece and how we think about ancient Greece.
Send those to me.
Sure. Yeah.
We keep talking about how we need to collaborate. Maybe the first thing I need to do is introduce you to my comrade who's a classicist. And
I would love that.
Maybe you can finally get him to do the work that I think he was born to do.
There we go.
Let's just have a rant. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have one. I think it's like up there in like my top 5 ever performing videos. Not that any of my videos do super well, to be clear. I'm nobody. I'm really happy to be here. But I do have like one of my best performing videos is my top 5 least favorite myths about Sparta.
Mm-hmm.
I love that thing. It's so much fun.
I love that title.
That must be fun.
I just want to say
another rabbit hole.
I know Zylla is playing it down, but the Silver Spook cooperative official Silver Spook indigenous Hawaiian anti-capitalist classics involves Zylla's video specifically on Greek history and the origins of Greek so-called civilization, or civilization that had many problems. And our eldest actually was reading the Odyssey and also reading 2001: A Space Odyssey and kind of connecting that together, and then also was watching Zylla's video specifically on ancient Greece and a lot of problems. And so a lot. I just want to say, if you want to be inoculated against the New California Republic's bane, which is America's Caesar's legions post Balkanization, if you don't want to join the fascist neo-Roman Empire or whatever they're trying to build out there in Donald Trump's line, our kid definitely is like, there's a lot of real problems with Greece. I mean, Odyssey is an interesting story, but like, why were so many people slaves? What was with this? There's really it was very unjust culture where they talked to. So it was really like a good dissection that I think. So like, if our oldest boy, I think, will never go down the Macaulay Culkin in the Fallout universe path, thanks to Zylla. So there we go. That's a pitch for you.
That's great.
That's very sweet. I'm glad that it was useful. But
look, the fact is that anybody watches any of the stuff that we put out at all is like an oversight from like the capitalist overlords. Like, we're literally, our existence is a glitch in the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sweet. We're just like slipping through the enshittified filters, of everything that's breaking down.
Actually, one more thought just is that I totally get what you. Sometimes I like, why you let me say anything? It's really, or any of us, right? It's, but I think part of it is, it's like they're like right wing, a lot of like just biz bro, pro capitalist, that is definitely the right wing. They're really bad at storytelling and actually being educated on things and making interesting and good production value art in general. And so like that's a major weakness. The liberals are some of the ones that can like pull off a lot of the propaganda, like you're talking about, the propaganda of the U.S. military inserted into Stargate and everywhere else. But like but there is a real break, because like a lot of the people that are going into video making, filmmaking, documentary making, all kind of stuff, like it's like there's a real problem there, right? It's if the AI slop and AI, because I'm also a programmer, I'm in the tech world too, and it's like I can see that it's basically it's like spicy autocomplete, it's large language. That's what they call it, like in a lot of that branch, in the computer programming world. It's like this, it's known it's a scam. Sam Altman has even said it, it's a scam. It's like large language models, basically.
It's just Markov chains.
Yeah, it's pattern mimicry, and that's not art. Like people don't want to watch that, right? So like 92% of people like actually by some studies are like against AI. Some people like begrudgingly have to use it for work, but like, and like that's like really why they're, despite it losing, right, like billions and billions of dollars. It's like a $20 trillion bubble with Nvidia and OpenAI and the circular lending scheme with Microsoft. But it's like but they don't really, it is actually a weakness. Like, come back to what you say, like they kind of can't like if it was only like AI generated Hollywood ripoff, slop content going out in big screen and also in YouTube and TikTok and everywhere else, people would stop using it. And then, but if the purpose of the social media means of communication is like to control minds, right, under an imperial capitalist system, if people stop using it because their content is too poor, right, which is a right winger, and a lot of the liberal, definitely right winger, and definitely this AI problem, then that's, I think that's actually where a lot of the tension is. They have to give concessions, right? Because if they cut all of us off, right, of YouTube and all the other platforms, they're gonna lose so many viewers, and they're gonna go and they're gonna find something else to do. Maybe they'll just like start organizing in their community instead of watching. Anyway. So anyway.
Oh yeah. No,
this is the problem that like the Ben Shapiros of the world have, right? Is they'll try to, they think that they're good enough. They're like, I don't have to get better. I'm already good enough, and it's just everyone else who is wrong. And then they go and make their own thing, and it's like nobody engages with it because you didn't get better. Everybody started bad. Everybody started crappy. You have to actually like learn and grow and get better and connect to people. And if you don't do that, you don't become a good artist.
I do have this kind of like, I don't know, brewing. It's just a thesis right now. I can't really prove it or anything, but I feel like the dead internet is going to be a huge step forward for workers, because I think that having everyone on like Twitter and Facebook and having like 2 or 3 big, huge corporate platforms that everyone was on was like a bad thing. And it was like antisocial in a lot of ways. And I think breaking everything up into these smaller spaces where, and by, of course, nothing revolutionary is going to happen on the internet. And that's another thing, is like, hopefully it's getting a lot more people to kind of like spend more time offline, the enshittification of everything. Because, I always tell my audience, like, I don't want you to spend all your time just like consuming content. That's not practice. You need to be getting out and in your neighborhood, in your workplace, talking to your neighbors and your community members and that sort of thing. And, the internet can facilitate revolution. It can be a tool for revolutionary activity and for political activity, but it can't display. And I think for a lot of us, for like a decade or at least, we were spending too much time doing like online stuff, and I include myself in that as well, as like self-criticism. But I think that
I
the
have to push
more
back
we
on
get
that a
involved,
little tiny bit. Not that I like disagree with your point in main, but just
sure,
like to include that like there is praxis to be found using this tool, and that it does allow space for instance, a lot of our more disabled comrades.
oh yeah, no. I mean,
To come. So like
that's an
just
important
to mention, like there are definitely positive pro people aspects of even something like Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever it happens to be. Like there is no way that I end up where I am now, for instance, both academically and socially in leftist spaces, without what Twitter was.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah, and
was
also
it was a
YouTube and like all
yeah
of our content and whatnot. Like for me, it was like, consciousness raising is a
Yeah.
huge thing that we need, right?
Right, and I think
Like
I've
class
mentioned a couple of
consciousness.
times how deeply rooted I am in education, and
yeah
Yeah,
like
no, me
now that I can
too.
no longer teach in person, this
Hmm.
is my teaching space, right?
Totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I wanted to bring like what I was learning and teaching in university to a wider audience because I was like, well, this shouldn't be locked up. Like this shouldn't be behind a paywall. Like everyone should know this. And like we need everyone to know this. This is critically important. And so for me, yeah, like raising class consciousness was like my biggest goal, I guess, for the longest time, right? And so I don't regret all the time I spent online. And I do think, as you said, like there is like a real purpose to that. And now I kind of feel like, because honestly, like when I started, it was like, I mean, EJ and Silver Spook, like it was like there were the amount of creators making leftist content was very low. I feel like consciousness has raised so much. I mean, even and not that like we're responsible for that, but like the material conditions have changed, and I think we were able to get the message out to a lot of people
yeah
via social media, and that did help to shape consciousness, right? And but I feel like, yeah, to your point, like I think now we're kind of at a point where it's like, okay, like
We're
the
seeing the
consciousness
drawbacks.
the consciousness raising it has gone well, but now we're definitely seeing the drawbacks, and like we need to kind of like regroup and re-strategize for where we are now, kind of thing.
we need
um
yeah I think that it was a stage of development that was, I think,
yeah.
necessary for us to go through, and I think now we're at
Hmm.
the point where my audience, I can't speak for every audience, and not that my audience is huge. I have a small audience, but the people in my audience, I feel like I've developed with them. Like we've all developed a
Hmm.
lot. Like
Hmm.
I feel
Hmm.
like it's a much different audience, and it's not really like a community per se, but they're, just the people that I talk to constantly and the people in my comments, that sort of
Hmm.
thing. I've developed a lot to the point where I think I feel a lot more confident that they are ready to go and like build actual institutions, by and
Hmm.
large.
Hmm.
Whereas 10 years ago, I don't think any of us were. And I certainly
No.
was completely naive, and I knew like absolutely nothing, a decade ago when I first started like blogging. And
Mhm.
I think now we need to start building the institutions that can actually like start impacting, you know, offline
Mhm.
society. And of course, we always live by the maxim of from each according to ability to each according to need. And there is a lot of work that needs to be done on the internet. And I still do, Luna and I do the bulk of our work online. So it's not to
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
completely discount what can be accomplished online. You still need
Mhm.
to be making propaganda. We still need to be making, again, like consciousness elevating, social consciousness developing, class consciousness raising
Mhm.
content. But that needs to be coupled with institutions,
Mhm. Mhm.
that are
Yeah, for
building
sure.
power, because that's at the end of the day we need to build power, like
Mhm.
actual ability to affect change and to hold the ruling class accountable, and we can't do
Mhm.
that just through uh, ideological programming. We need to have practice
Mhm.
in our communities as well, so it needs to be dialectically, as we would say in our nerdy little community,
Mhm.
linked up
Mhm.
between the theory and the practice.
Yeah, I mean that's why I also started Positive Leftist News, was to be like, okay, because I feel like most of the stuff I made before was like educational and it was all critique. It was like all critique, and don't get me wrong, I think there was a huge place for all that critique. But I was like, oh, I feel like I'm just kind of, depressing people and then leaving them feeling kind of disempowered at the end of it, like, oh my God, capitalism is this huge, terrible juggernaut, and like, what are we gonna do? And there is something of like, if you're consuming all this content, you do kind of feel like you're part of a community, so then maybe you don't actually go out to the community and figure out like what am I going
Yeah,
to do, so
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I'm
There's a
with
I
you on
feel
danger
like
that.
of
I feel like
capture.
PLN and like Andrewism's channel and like I try to do some activist stuff with the group that I run. Like I think like those are that is that was missing for a while, and like everybody just kind of felt like, well, hello,
Hmm.
boot.
Yeah.
I'm now familiar with your shape.
Yes.
My neck
Yes,
hurts.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that
Yeah.
we as creators also need to recognize, we like it's a contradiction, right? I mean, and it's something we just have to like kind of live through, and the way the way I like to put it is we developed. Well, I didn't come up with this. This is actually Ho Chi Minh I got this from, but it's like we develop the positive aspects, and we negate the negative aspects, right? So one of the things I think about a lot as a quote unquote influencer is like we need to we as influencers or whatever content creators, these personalities that kind of have a tendency to put ourselves on a pedestal and be put on a pedestal, is realize that the work we're doing is really just like kind of like ablative or like support. It's a support role, and not only do we need to recognize that ourselves, but we need to like condition our audiences to understand that like we're just here to kind of support you, give you some propaganda materials that you can share with your neighbors, give you some educational materials, help you find like resources, that kind of stuff. But we're not the, because I think there's a big problem. There is a big problem where this happens, especially in like, with things like the debate community and with like a lot of these sort of aggrandized figures that have like really big audiences, especially in the more liberal areas, where it's like people tend to, there's a danger that people think that like their favorite YouTuber or streamer or whatever is the revolution, and that like posting comments and stuff like that is like practice, and it's like the opposite. It's the opposite.
We are not
really. We should be we should be supporting our audience in going out and doing things in their communities. It's like we should be the ones that are very humbly like asking our audience what they need and fall, like there needs to be this kind of like relationship that goes both ways, where it's not like we're sitting here and talking and then that's like the revolution. That's not ever going to be the case. And if anything, it can like take a lot of steam out of what needs to be happening, and we need to be really conscious of that, I guess, and responsible about it, and moving into the next few years, especially because things are going to happen really fast. And by the way, a lot of us have myself included, we can have egos about these platforms and stuff we're building, but the ruling class can take that all from us in an instant. And they will. All this stuff, we're living on borrowed time right now. And it's only a matter of time before as these, and we were saying this years and years ago, Luna and I were both saying years and years ago that the more things get unstable with capitalism and we're talking about the bubble and everything like that, it's really unstable right now, the more they're going to start cracking down on speech and going back to the way things were, because it wasn't that long ago that communism, talking about it, any of this stuff, anarchism, communism, all this stuff was like illegal and heavily censored, and we're just going right back to where we were. So yeah,
no, absolutely. I really wish I could stay and talk more about this because I love this conversation. No, I'm like, fuck, dude, this is such a good combo, but I gotta get up early for work.
It's getting late.
My kids
probably need to get Luna some medicine as well.
Are definitely gonna get up in the night, so I was like, fuck, I want to talk about this forever with you guys. I wish I could have joined at 7 and then we could have talked for 3 hours.
No, Mexie, you're just leading the vanguard of logging off.
Y'all, we need sleep. We need sleep.
Yeah, no.
We've all been talking about how we all need to log off, so
yeah.
Let's go touch our bed sheets.
Yeah, but thanks everybody so much for coming on. Even despite all the circumstances, illnesses and everything else.
Yeah, well, we love you, Silver Spook, and we hope you had a really great birthday. And let's definitely do it again. I mean, if this time works for people, I mean, not this time, but if 7 works, then that would have been great.
I love that. Mexie's like bringing the practice. Yes. Enough theory. Let's log the fuck.
The head on our pillows.
Happy birthday, Silver Spook.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. When what Neofeud 2?
Oh, yeah, in case before you go, I know a bunch of people here, possibly everyone is here as a tester, so I was hoping to have it like my birthday present that I made for everyone. Like within January, I'm just gonna send whatever I have. It's basically like I have finalized basically chapter 1 of this game. It's like 5 hours. It's at least 20 hours. So I'm gonna just give you what I got done. Like once I figure out how to wrap it and how to send it, because it's a big file. It's like 8 gigabytes. So long story short, look out for it in your Dropbox or somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah, coming for
Oh my god, I cannot wait.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Psyched.
and
Love it. Well, thanks for having us. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Been
So
lovely
good to
chatting
talk
with
to you
y'all.
all. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I love talking on these streams. So let's do it again.
yeah, we'll
She'll
definitely
do it again.
we'll try to do it again. Yeah, for sure.
Luna just very weakly said happy birthday.
Oh, hey Luna, feel
Rest
better.
well, Luna.
She's resting, don't worry. She's already back to sleep, I think.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Happy birthday, Silver Spook. This was really fun. I
Night,
can't wait to connect
everybody.
with y'all again.
Yeah, for sure. Good night, everybody. See you again soon.